Very good evening and welcome to this special broadcast here on NDTV. A hotly contested election is over. All eyes on 4th, but before that, an important pit stop was yesterday. The exit poll day. And the exit poll, ladies and gentlemen, all of them blowing in the same direction, are predicting a landslide once again for Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his third term. That will place him in a unique position as a leader who is winning his third term with even more margin if these number holds true. So what we'll do today, my colleague Sudhir and I will take you through some of the key states. If the numbers that the exit polls are suggesting hold true, there are going to be some far-reaching consequences, a lot of changes on the ground as far as few states are concerned, isn't it, Umans? Particularly the southern states where the BJP, we saw a renewed push under the lead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Yes, evening. Very good evening, Ankit. Yes, very exciting election, fierce election. And the Prime Minister actually chose to go and pray to the rising sun at Kanyakumari, the rising fortunes of the BJP. It would seem the prayers have been answered, not just in the rest of India, but South India, where we have always thought for the BJP is going to be a very formidable challenge. And if these numbers hold, it appears that the account has been opened, not just in the gateway of Karnataka that they had been speaking about and Telangana, but also Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. Of course, they have had seats before, but for us, most certainly all eyes on Andhra Pradesh. A very fiercely fought election there with both Andhra Pradesh Assembly as well as the Lok Sabha elections that we are looking at.
Absolutely. So what we'll do, let me just, we'll have some experts on the ground and we'll go state by state because, as I said, this victory of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, not only his third record term, he'll be the first non-Congress Prime Minister to have a third shot at the top job in the country, but that too, as I said, uniquely positioned with a bigger margin if these numbers hold true. So what we'll do, we'll go state by state from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, we'll go to Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and then of course the Bay of Bengal region. We'll also track West Bengal and Odisha, very interesting states to say the least. What we'll try and do at this moment, we'll start, Uma, with Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. We have some exciting guests as well, just to try and understand. I have in the studio with me here in the national capital, we have, in fact, Sugata Srinivas Raju, senior journalist. He will help us understand, further details of how it is going to change the dynamics in the state elections as well. Uma also has a battery of guests joining her at this moment. Uma, let's first start with Telangana and, of course, Andhra Pradesh numbers, where it is very interesting what is happening, at least when it comes to Telangana. All the exit polls, all right, Andhra Pradesh first, all the exit polls at this moment, at least in the national capital, seem to be suggesting that the TDP, BJP and Pawan Kalyan's party combined have trumped YSRCP.
Yes, indeed. Ankit, I must say that today was also a red letter day for other reasons because this is 10 years of Telangana's formation, the day when the bifurcated state of Andhra Pradesh also formed, and today we are talking about its future as well. And I have with me two guests, both of who have covered Andhra Pradesh and Telangana and the united Andhra Pradesh as well for decades, I must say. Vamsi Srinivas, who is the Chief of Bureau for both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana with the Deccan Chronicle, and Ravikant Reddy, political editor of The Hindu. The numbers that are coming in from Andhra Pradesh, those seem to indicate that the alliance of the NDA, once more the winning combination of the BJP, the TDP and the Janasena seem to be running away with it. That's what the national, at least pollsters seem to indicate. The indications that we are getting, first you, Vamsi, from the local pollsters as well. There are other pollsters who are in fact giving the match or giving the assembly to the YSRCP.
Yeah, I'll tell you very peculiar situation and very funny situation also is there in Andhra Pradesh. Before May 13, each party has struggled hard to convince the voter to vote for them. And now they are again convincing the same voter that, look, you have voted for me. So, and adding to the confusion is the same exit polls, where different agencies gave different numbers, and even the agencies which gave a kind of a clean sweep in Lok Sabha polls, they have given a sort of just short of a kind of a hung assembly. So, which is most unlikely, I think, in given the AP trend,
The
combined
history of
Andhra
AP
Pradesh.
has been that it's always voted
it's
very
always.
similarly in
Yes.
Assembly and Lok Sabha elections as well. Ravi, are you convinced with the kind of figures that the pollsters, national pollsters have been putting out? Of course, nationally, the BJP and the NDA seem to be doing very well. And in Andhra Pradesh also, they're giving them good gains. And TDP, Janasena, BJP seem to be ahead both in Lok Sabha as well as in the Assembly polls.
Well, if you look at the pre-poll scenario and the way Mr. Jagan was projecting himself, I think no one thought this kind of figures would emerge for the Mahakutami. Of course, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is very strong in terms of his experience as well as his strengths as a party organization and also the support base. At the same time, I think the biggest addition strength to Mr. Chandrababu Naidu came in the form of Mr. Pawan Kalyan, who allied with TDP despite all the odds. I think in a way
that was the time, in fact, when Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was in jail, and very dramatically Pawan Kalyan goes and comes out of the jail and declares that I am going to fight the election with him.
Yes, I think his support
was that a turning point, you think?
I definitely think that made a huge difference to Mr. Naidu's fortunes and the way people thought. I mean, the perception of people changed. And in fact, I would like to say that Mr. Pawan Kalyan put his own political career at stake by aligning with Mr. Naidu, because at that time Mr. Jagan was looking very, very strong, given his schemes and the way he had total control over the governance, total control over the seats, his party, and the way his party was projecting and leading across the state, right from Srikakulam to Chittoor. So I think these numbers are really a surprise for not only for Mr. Jagan, for a lot of people. Particularly because the way, if you look at the pre-poll scenario 1 month before the polls,
right,
Mr. Jagan was a bit ahead. But I think the Kamma Kapu combination, which Naidu thought had really helped, and BJP
so
also coming in.
The combination seems to have worked very well. Yes, Ankit,
I just wanted to ask one question. It also seems that the social engineering that has been done with this, the alliance, the NDA alliance, BJP, Pawan Kalyan and TDP coming together, some dominant caste, in fact, supporting them. What does this mean for the Bharatiya Janata Party, particularly in the long term? Because most exit polls show that the BJP is winning 4 to 6 seats. It's almost giving 80 to 100% strike rate to the BJP, which last time did not, in fact, open its account as far as Andhra Pradesh is concerned.
Yes, indeed. The BJP, in fact, had less than 1% of the vote share. And now some of the pollsters, like you mentioned, giving 4 to 6 seats to the BJP, which means 80 to 100% strike rate. Does that surprise you, Vamsi?
No, not at all.
And what is their future going to be in Andhra Pradesh now?
Not only these figures, even the assembly figures didn't surprise me at all, because for the last 6 months, I have been anticipating this, to be very honest, because their vote base is gradually shrinking. Jagan's vote base, and they allowed it to happen also. And as you said, definitely this Chandrababu Naidu, Pawan Kalyan combination has definitely is a turning point. And too much of dependence on the beneficiary vote, assuming that all the beneficiaries will vote for them. We are giving all the DBT schemes, 80% of the schemes, 80% of the voter is covered under the DBT scheme. So they were anticipating that all the beneficiaries.
The women vote, the DBT vote, the pensioners vote, that's what they were hoping would work for them.
But each section has started drifting, and by the time they realized, I think the damage was already done. And his slogan of this class war did not work, because still I think in Indian politics, caste is more important than class. So they were assuming that all the beneficiaries, irrespective of their caste or the combinations, they will vote for Jagan, which did not work out. Again, their vote, even among women, I think majority of the women vote also went in the direction of the caste alliances or caste combinations.
That's an important point, because probably Jagan Mohan Reddy was banking a lot on the women vote, very critical wherever they have been targeting the welfare schemes at the women, perhaps, Ankit?
That's right, but Mrs. Srinivasan Raju, the fact is that it will be very interesting if the beneficiary vote, which we've been seeing with the Prime Minister also, firmly is behind the Prime Minister, including the women vote, but it does not translate this in the same success as far as Jagan Mohan Reddy is concerned in Andhra Pradesh, and also it seems getting via Sharmila in the Congress fold has not given even a little bit of hope or a bump as far as the Congress party is concerned.
No, I mean,
they've been a non-starter again.
You're absolutely right. The welfareism that Jagan was completely dependent on may have worked against him because he created a separate volunteer structure for the delivery of those welfare ideas, and that I presume Uma and her colleagues would know better, who were there on the ground to sort of look at it. But I presume that it broke the traditional structures of patronage in politics. Now you can't. Politics is not just about welfareism. Prime Minister Modi just does not announce schemes and then not do politics. There is also social engineering. There is also a reach out. There is also a certain communication. So Sharmila may have actually eaten away her brother's thing at the fringes, perhaps not in a very big way. But I have always suspected that this whole idea of delivering welfare through a separate tier of volunteers that he created may have actually damaged him because it subverted the three-tier structure in the state.
We'll shift to Telangana, but Uma, before we do that, before I tell the overall numbers of the poll of polls that we have done of the exit polls for Telangana, I just want to very quickly understand from you, because of the state assembly elections as well. Are there any outliers or people or any local polls which are giving a different view, or is it even locally with the regional channels and the view is the same what we are seeing at this moment nationally?
Okay, the regional channels and the regional media is in fact divided on political lines, and their loyalties also are aligned on those lines. But yes, there are pollsters and there have been poll surveys. There are poll surveys, credible ones at that. Ravi will in fact elaborate on that as well, where we have seen YSRCP in fact getting the numbers, isn't it?
Well, YSRCP is getting some numbers from not so credible organizations, except one organization. Aram Astan, he has been predicting quite well. Even in Telangana elections, he predicted correct. So he has given an edge to Jagan. So apart from that agency, I think all the other agencies which gave some kind of good figures for Jagan are unknown or don't have that kind of credibility.
And I would actually disagree with Sugata on the volunteer system. That in fact worked very well for Jagan Mohan Reddy and the government. There are other factors that came into play that led to the, if the figures hold then, led to the victory of the TDP. But if you see, even now if you see the figures, they say TDP and the YSRCP are almost neck and neck. The alliance seems to have worked very well. The caste equation, the transfer of votes between the Kamma, Kapu and to the BJP seems to have worked well.
No, Uma, I clearly said I suspect that because it upset the traditional structures of delivery.
Okay.
That's all. It's a suspicion. So you probably are right about it.
The problem with 1 hour television show is that we'll have to very quickly move from one state to another, try and cover the important points in that bit. Let's just focus quickly on Telangana. Important state. The Congress, won a victory, thumping victory, in fact, just a few months back. And this is also a state where we saw the BRS completely dominating the state to the position that at this moment it seems completely, diminished results as far as the BRS is concerned. So what are the poll of polls if these numbers hold true? And that's the caveat, ladies and gentlemen. NDTV doesn't do any poll on themselves. These are the exit polls by various agencies which have been put out, and we have done a poll of those agencies in Telangana. 17 Lok Sabha seats. The poll of polls suggests 7 for the Congress, 8 for the BJP, and 1 for the BRS, and others, that is 1 for Mr. Owaisi as far as the 17 seats are concerned. Though there are certain polls like Access My India, India Today poll, they suggest a bigger margin as far as the BJP is concerned, even in fact putting Mr. Assaduddin Owaisi's seats on a question mark there. Uma, very, very interesting numbers given the fact that the Congress was able to, get a victory a few months back. one state that gave them hope in those 5 states which went to polls where they were not able to win in anything but Telangana. This is somewhere, would this not be seen as a referendum on the state government as well of Mr. Revant Reddy, though it's just been 3 months, but there will be questions asked.
Revant Reddy said so in so many terms that this is in fact a referendum on his 100 days of rule, and he said, I have done what I have done and people are going to reward me. And in fact, he asked for the vote on the 100-day referendum, which I thought was strange for a parliament election, but he did. And he's hoping still now, I mean, we met him yesterday in an interaction, and he in fact was very confident that he is actually going to demand for central government ministries for Telangana so that he can get more works done from the central government. That apart, yes, you're right. The big question in Telangana is really, is the BJP going to get the double figures, or is it the Congress that's going to get the double figures in terms of the Lok Sabha seats? All pollsters seem to suggest that the BJP is going to be ahead of the of the Congress in terms of the numbers. That can only happen if the BJP, which got less than 20% of the vote share in the last election, now more than doubles it. So does that mean that the decimation of the BRS from 38% to let's say 13% or 14%, the entire vote share will have to move to the BJP for this to happen, isn't it?
I looked at some of the polling figures of BRS, and they say that BRS is, which got around 38.4% in the assembly elections, is losing massively, from 17 to 18% for the parliament polls. Now, it's interesting to see this 18% goes to BJP or the Congress, but according to those figures available, which I have seen, the share is equal. It's almost equal. So if it is equal, I think some agencies have predicted a double figure for BJP, which really doesn't look like on the ground as well. As long as there's a secret understanding between BRS and BJP to transfer the votes at some constituencies. And I believe, if you look at the candidates of BRS, there have been very weak candidates in some constituencies. So if
you were saying there could have been some.
There could have been some. But, it ultimately depends whether the vote would be transferred or not. At the ground level, this has to happen when BJP also has to have some kind of good leaders at the ground level, at the village level. Unfortunately, BJP doesn't have that. So my prediction is BJP touching double figures looks a bit exaggeration.
Vamsi, match fixing is one thing, because the BJP now, if it is going to be at the power in the center, and you have Kavita as a very critical factor in these elections, though she has been in jail all through. And what Ravi is hinting at is some kind of a match fixing which can facilitate the BJP win. Do you think that is a possibility? Because the Congress really has been the biggest enemy for the BRS here, and for them, there are more than just political challenges.
Yeah, one thing is very clear, that BRS itself has agreed indirectly that it is out of the race. A lot of its senior leaders, they didn't even prefer to contest the elections.
No one wanted to contest.
Yeah, they don't want to contest the elections. But again, whatever this match fixing will be at the first rung leadership or the second rung leadership. But for a common voter, will it be like totally whatever for BJP to reach the double digit figure? The BRS should end up getting some 2% or 3% vote, which is, I think, is unlikely. So my take is that none of these parties like Congress or BJP is going to touch the double digit figure, because 6 each.
Can I just ask you one thing, Umar, with your guest as well?
BRS they are anticipating, so that leaves 3 seats. So I can go either way.
The whole notion that the Bharatiya Janata Party does better in front of the Congress, but when it comes to regional satraps, the BJP somewhere struggles. If we take the example, of the BRS at this moment, is it BRS tactically retreating that we'll live to fight in the assembly election? This is not the big battle. Possibly the big battle is between the two national parties. Or is this the beginning of the end as far as the BRS is concerned, in terms of the BJP completely capturing the space that has been left after this current election result in the assembly elections?
Ankit, I wouldn't write the epitaph on the BRS yet. It is just that even in the assembly election, they were just less than 2% less than the Congress. It's only, by a few seats that the Congress managed a majority. But the tragedy for the BRS actually happened post the elections when there were huge numbers of desertions from their party and people not wanting to contest. And they do know that in a parliament election, when the BRS is not in power in the state, it's not a party that people are going to vote for. And that's where it happened. But the top Congress leader did admit that 80% of the vote share that the BRS is going to lose is probably shifting to the BJP, and that perhaps in one sense explains the gains that the BJP seems to be having, because otherwise the BJP has not done anything in the state other than the Modi factor, which we have been talking about in every election. They have not done anything on the ground to warrant an increase in their either vote share or in their performance, isn't it?
And also we should not forget that the minority vote, which considerably went to BRS in assembly elections, definitely is not going to go for BJP. So you can't say that like entire BRS vote is getting transferred to BJP.
That's a very important point, because even during the other election, the assembly election, we saw that outside of Hyderabad, the minority vote was getting transferred to a Congress, and that did really contribute to their victory in many of the constituencies.
True. So if you look at the assembly figures also, the minority votes, BRS leaders claim that the vote percentage was just 1.8% difference. But if you take out Hyderabad, there's 24 seats out of Hyderabad, and if you look at the rural areas, the margin between Congress and BRS is around 8 to 9% difference. I mean, that's very huge in any election. Now in Hyderabad region, BRS got the entire Muslim vote because of AIM alliance, rather the friendly party alliance, and that actually reduced that gap between Congress and the BRS. But if you take out Hyderabad, the gap is quite huge. Now,
so
this
are
time
you saying that the BRS still is a party to contend with in Telangana, or is BJP going to take over that space? Quickly, both of your comments.
No, I think BRS is still a party. As long as KCR is there, it's very difficult to dislodge the party from Telangana. And BJP, as you said, hasn't done anything great to claim ownership on Telangana voters. With something which very massive schemes or massive good leadership which they could produce at the national level. As Mr. Revant Reddy has been saying, for entire 42 Telugu speaking votes, Telugu speaking seats, they have given just one ministry, and which is, people will not really take it so on the face value of just Modi. I think the Modi factor would be there. Youngsters have voted for Modi. But if you take out Modi, there's nothing which BJP can say, they have done something for Telangana, we have a right in Telangana or Andhra Pradesh.
Okay, Ankit. So BRS is not a party that's over. Very quick comment.
Yeah, my comment is in Telangana or even in Andhra, none of these three regional parties, irrespective of their results, they are going to stay. And you
so
can't
regional
wish away.
satraps are going to stay.
You can't wish away.
So
but
basically,
the BJP has made its roots now, though they depended a lot on borrowed talent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, it's a tactical retreat of sorts. Live to fight another day. Assembly elections would, possibly the next assembly election in Telangana would actually be the test whether and how far this damage to the BRS has been as far as Telangana is concerned. Let's just shift focus to another important state, because when the campaign for the 2024 election started, the whole focus idea was for the BJP, when Prime Minister said 400 par, 370 for the BJP, and along with the NDA, 400 plus. The whole idea was to, continue holding on to the states where they maximized in 2019 and open new avenues. And one of the states where the BJP really have been trying, the Prime Minister himself has, since, if I'm not mistaken, since January, visited Tamil Nadu at least 5 separate occasions. The Prime Minister has been in the state of Tamil Nadu. This is the state where the BJP has very aggressively been campaigning. And if the numbers of the exit poll, let me first tell you the numbers of the exit poll, of the 39 seats, the NDA or the Bharatiya Janata Party combined or plus is winning 3 seats. That's the poll of the polls. The India Alliance, that is DMK plus the Congress and the other allies, 34. AIDMK and their allies are expected to win one seat, and one seat is expected to go to others. Very, very interesting. It's not that the DMK has never opened its, the BJP has never opened its account as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. Under Prime Minister Vajpayee, when there was collaboration with the AIDMK, they have won few seats, but this time the BJP going all alone, and if these numbers hold true, they are winning more seats than the AIDMK. Uma, this is going to be a tectonic shift as far as the future of Tamil Nadu is concerned.
Absolutely. For the BJP, this is different because this is the first time, like you mentioned, that they are going alone. And if they manage even 3 wins in a Tamil Nadu, that is going to be very, very big. Let's also, introduce Arun Krishnamurthy, who's a pollster, someone who has a very politically analytical brain. Arun, all the polls that have been nationally, we are talking about, they have given 0 to 3 seats for a BJP in Tamil Nadu. Are the local polls looking any different for the BJP and for the other parties as well? Everyone, of course, saying that the DMK plus the India Alliance is going to do very well there. That is taken for granted as something that's common for all the pollsters. But tell me about any local polls which are looking different.
So there's been only one local poll, which is the NDTV poll. In that, when you check, it's actually 0 to 5 seats for the NDA and the ADMK in 0 to 2 seats. But majority of the seats towards the India Alliance only, with DMK and Congress holding the realm of affairs. When we look at Tamil Nadu, is technically what you spoke about Telangana, Andhra, all that comes true in Tamil Nadu too. Tamil Nadu, in fact, is a combination of Andhra and Telangana scenario for BJP, where they're actually trying to gain ground as a party by them own self, but they're not able to bring in members from outside. And then also what's happening is they also need an alliance, but here the TDP is not with them, which is the ADMK. The ADMK has gone out. The AIADMK and the BJP contesting as 2 different fronts here is benefiting the DMK Congress alliance in a big way, which is the Congress, the DMK with the Dalit votes, with the minority votes, still has its vote share intact, whereas the BJP and the ADMK are eating into each other's vote bank, which is what is creating this kind of an imbalance in the strike corner contest, and that's where the BJP and the ADMK are losing. And then the DMK Congress front has a clear edge. There are specific seats. It's not region-wise split within the state. There are specific seats. For example, Ramanathapuram, Tirunelveli, Dharmapuri, Vellore, Pondicherry, if you include that into this list of Tamil Nadu plus Pondi, Coimbatore has a seat with a good tricorner contest. These are the specific seats, and for anybody who knows Tamil Nadu, these are seats that are spread across. And local factors, good candidate, and the caste equation also matters with regards to candidate choice and much more. All of this is what is holding these 7 seats away from the DMK front in a clear victory. And that's what we read Tamil Nadu as for 2024.
Mr. Krishnamurthy, I very quickly want to understand from you, if I may ask you.
Arun, you mentioned about these 5 seats that are going to be very...
Go ahead, Uma, go ahead.
These 5 seats that you mentioned are very local factors, very diverse and at different, geographical locations. Coimbatore, everyone's eyes has been on Coimbatore. You mentioned the other seats as well for specific reasons. Modi has been campaigning huge, in a sense luring Tamil Nadu, reaching out to Tamil Nadu, makes a mention of it at multiple platforms as well. Annamalai, of course, has been, he did that tour across the 234 constituencies, assembly constituencies of Tamil Nadu. And yet, Coimbatore, is it one of those seats where you're saying Annamalai can make it? And also tell us, is it a Modi factor that's working? Is it going to push up the vote share that much more? And with assembly elections coming up, if BJP does manage to get 0 to 5 seats, will it become a tri-cornered kind of a assembly election for Tamil Nadu, which has so far seen a bipolar contest always between the 2 alliances?
In fact, Sugata Srinivas Raju was just mentioning that the Prime Minister, since taking office, has been to Tamil Nadu 30 times. So they have been working on this for a long time.
Highest for any state.
Highest for any state. Go ahead, sir.
So the Modi factor actually works. I'll tell you how. 2014, with Miss Jayalalitha as the chief minister, there still was the third front which was held by the BJP with the then Mr. Vijay Kant, the PMK, and they still clocked 17 to 18% of the votes even in 2014. There was a positive vote towards an alternative, and please remember it was the UPA, anger against UPA in Tamil Nadu, which was even more vehement, the 2G scam, etc. So 2014 was a Modi factor, whereas a third front, despite there being Miss Jayalalitha as a strong force, the BJP plus got almost 3 seats. 37 to 3 was the tally if you include Pondicherry. Then when you looked at 2019, between 2014 and 19, there was a very strong anti-Modi narrative that was cooked in Tamil Nadu by the political opposition, which you would not see anywhere else in this country. That anti-Modi narrative was very strong, and that's how in 2019, it was a complete wipeout except for 1 seat in Theni, which also came to a nail-biting finish. 2019 to 24, the scenario changed a little different. There's not been an anti-Modi wave, but the pro-Modi wave has not caught on. The neutralization of the anti-Modi wave has taken time. Yeah. And that is where without the ADMK, the BJP on its own with few parties, which includes the PMK, which is a stronghold, the BJP and its alliance could clock nearly 20 to 22% of the vote share maybe. And the few seats where local factors, this being a tricorner fight, where ADMK and BJP are harming each other more than the DMK. Yeah. All factors put aside, when you look at the vote bank, the traditional vote bank, come what may, the minority vote is not going towards the NDA. Is the minority vote going towards the ADMK? It didn't go towards JDS, it didn't go towards BRS in Telangana and Karnataka. Same way, it's not going towards ADMK. It is solid sticking to DMK. That is where they're having the edge. Modi factor, yes. 3 different kinds of Modi factor from 14 to 19 to 24.
Yes, indeed.
Very, very interesting. The way, in fact, you've put it across, and also that also tells you the long-term strategy, the overall strategy that the Bharatiya Janata Party works on for 5 years, 6 years, given at a time to try and increase their vote base. It will be interesting to see how the Dravidian, states being dominated by the Dravidian parties in the next assembly election, what holds true and how much can the BJP, in fact, take the position as far as the AIDMK is concerned, which has been on a downward slide. I want to very quickly shift focus to another very important state. This has been, a green shoot as far as the BJP is concerned. A lot of excitement with Kerala because this is possibly the first time the Bharatiya Janata Party is expected to open its account, if you believe the poll of polls, which we have, in fact, been able to do of all the exit polls. Now, interesting what is happening on the 20 seats of Kerala, a state which has been Congress in a left fight, both the alliances. This time, the poll of polls shows that the UDF, the Congress-led alliance, is winning 16 of 20, the LDF 3, NDA, that's the Bharatiya Janata Party, winning 1. Some pollsters even giving 1 to 3 seats as far as the BJP is concerned. Uma, this would be something made of the dreams as far as the BJP is concerned. Kerala was the last citadel, last bastion that the BJP and the RSS have been trying to penetrate. This time it seems that they will be able to at least win one constituency if the poll of polls is to be believed.
Yes, indeed, except for a lone MLA seat that the BJP has won in 2017 in Kerala, never had a win there, and therefore opening account in Kerala is going to be something that the BJP is going to be quite thrilled about. I'm going to be, we are joined by Gilvesta Asari from Kerala. Gilvesta, the BJP opening its account in Kerala, would you think that this is the beginning of Kerala's character of a UDF versus LDF all the time? Is that also going to change in the state of Kerala? Is this the beginning of a tectonic shift in the political dynamics of Kerala?
Uma, the exit poll results that have come up, actually they have shown a huge increase in the percentage of votes for BJP. That is from 15% to they are showing up to 27%. Now, that is a huge increase. Whether it's going to happen on the ground, we'll know on the 4th. But if this trend is, if you believe this trend, then of course it's going to have an impact on the bipolar politics of Kerala. But here I also want to mention that all the 3 fronts, whether it is the NDA, LDF or the UDF, they all are fighting these elections for various important reasons concerning their formations. And now the LDF, which is the ruling party in Kerala, it's a do-or-die battle for the LDF because, as you know, its strength in the parliament has come down drastically. It had just 3 members in the last Lok Sabha. So they wanted to improve their tally this time, and that's why they decided to put up major candidates in the fray, including one of their sitting ministers. So they are trying their best to make some dent in the UDF bastions and try to gain some seats. On the other hand, the UDF, which won 19 of the 20 seats in the 2019 polls, you know, when Rahul Gandhi came to contest from Wayanad, there was a kind of a wave of sorts in favor of the UDF, as it is very clear that Rahul Gandhi is hugely popular in Kerala. I think it's one of the states where he is more popular than Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So Rahul Gandhi's presence had made a lot of difference for the UDF. And this time around, there is no, that sort of a wave is missing. But Rahul Gandhi's, return to Wayanad has definitely encouraged the UDF. As far as the BJP is concerned, it is looking at 3 seats. One is Thiruvananthapuram, from where Rajiv Chandrasekhar is in the fray. And as you know, that for the last 3 consecutive terms, Tharoor won from Trivandrum. And in 2014, the BJP lost the seat only by 15,000 votes. So BJP has always had a very strong presence in Thiruvananthapuram. And this time, there is a feeling that, Rajiv Chandrasekhar being a fresh face and someone who is appealing to the cross-section of voters in Thiruvananthapuram, and the fatigue factor associated with Tharoor because of his 3 consecutive terms. So these are some of the reasons.
Dilbhai, may I ask you very quickly, what does this mean for Pinarayi Vijayan, the chief minister there? For the future of the left parties, for Pinarayi Vijayan himself, who has been the chief minister now for 10 years, what does this mean going forward? Is the BJP taking the space of the LDF in that sense?
See, Kerala, there is a peculiar situation. As you know, as I said, in 2019, the UDF won 19 of the 20 seats. Assembly elections. The LDF swept the assembly elections. We were close to 100 seats out of the 140 assembly seats. So the Lok Sabha elections normally do not impact the state elections. But as far as the LDF is concerned, it has a solid base. You know that the CPM is one of the strongest, the most strongest political formation in Kerala, and it has its base almost intact. But the interesting would be to see how much dent the BJP is able to make in the LDF vote bank. As you know that the BJP has tied up with the BDJS, which is a party which belongs to a dominant, a powerful backward class community, that is the Iruva community, which has been a traditional supporter of the left in Kerala. So last time also they could manage to make a dent to a certain extent, but this time it will be interesting to see how much dent they make in this vote base.
Quite interesting how this is all panning out. It also seems that, BJP there getting, we keep talking about the minority vote. We forget the Christians are also a minority. In Kerala, of course, a lot of Christian vote this time seems to be, in fact, going towards the BJP. Quite interesting how state by state equations change for every political party. Let's move on to the other big state in southern India. That is one state which has always been seen as a citadel for the Bharatiya Janata Party, a big catchment area for the BJP, the state where their southern sojourn in a way started. In fact, Karnataka, 28 seats, and last time, barring one seat which the Congress won, of course, one was won by the JDS and one by an independent who then eventually went and supported the BJP. 26, if I may say, the NDA tally in the last election was. What is the poll of polls showing at this moment? Yesterday, all the polls came out. The NDA is expected to win 22 out of 28. It includes the JDS, which is fighting with the Bharatiya Janata Party, and the Congress 6. Uma, this will once again be one state where the Congress was hoping in all their calculations, if nationally they are going to do well, Karnataka would be one state where they will have to make big gains. Poll of polls suggests, yes, some gains, but not to the tune that Mr. Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar have been projecting.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Karnataka and Telangana, you can actually draw parallels because these are two states where you've had a recent win of the Congress and a rather thumping win, and they seem to be having a strong leadership in both these states. And if they have reached out to the women voters there, to the different beneficiaries in these states, then it should have worked out for them that the numbers should show up for them in the parliament elections as well. But the exit polls seem to indicate, both in Telangana as well as in Karnataka, that the Congress is not doing as well as it would have hoped to do in both these states. What are the factors which seem to have pushed the BJP that way? I would like to in fact ask Sugata this question. What is the reason why, despite having a Congress government in place, is it an anti-incumbency against the government there that is leading to the kind of numbers that the exit polls seem to indicate?
Uma, the government is a year old, and the guarantees, by and large have sort of reached the people, but there's a last mile problem like always, and there is a lot of allegations and corruption and stuff like that. So that aside, see, you should look at the alliance that has been formed. The JDS-BJP alliance is a natural alliance. Earlier in 2019, it was an alliance between the Congress and the JDS when they won one seat each. So that has made a huge difference, because in South Karnataka, the JDS complements the BJP, and in North Karnataka, the BJP is extremely strong, where the JDS has pockets of votes in Hyderabad Karnataka region as well as in the Bombay Karnataka region. So there is a natural alliance that is there, and Karnataka has always had this trend from Hegde's time, 1985 on, 84-85, when they have voted differently for the assembly as well as parliament. They've been very, very wise in choosing who to sort of pick for the assembly as well as
Sugata,
parliament.
It seems when Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on the ticket, the BJP last time also maximized more than 50% vote, 52% vote in most of the seats that they won in Karnataka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the ticket completely changes the game as far as the politics is concerned. And also, like you pointed out, in the assembly election, we saw DK Shivkumar being able to pull a lot of Vokaliga vote away from the JDS, which resulted in the massive victory that the Congress was able to, in fact, engineer. Does this mean, in a way, possibly the inter-rivalry within the Congress party, the Vokaligas maybe not sticking with the Congress as they were in the assembly election? Do you see the impact of this victory, if these numbers hold true on June 4th, on the functioning of the Karnataka government as well, particularly Mr. DK Shivkumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah?
Oh, it will certainly have an impact on, the government. But yesterday I was looking at some numbers. The Okaliga, it was showing 70% of the Okaliga vote has gone to the NDA. 80% of the Lingayat vote is with the NDA. And then interestingly, the OBC, the Kuruba OBC vote, 40% has gone to the NDA, which is quite surprising. I was being a little generous with the Congress. I thought they'll get 8 to 10 seats, but the projections are completely different.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And the other thing is the absolute reluctance on the part of the Congress to put up good candidates. So in the absence of people being reluctant to contest, 18 of the 28 seats were given to children of sitting ministers, daughters-in-law of Congress leaders, sons-in-law of Congress leaders. So I think that has rattled the worker, because you are blocking the seat for the next 3
Basically,
decades.
the worker saying, "Mera number kab aayega?"
Yeah, you're blocking the seat for the next 3 decades, because all these people are 25, 26, 30.
Right.
So, it's a bad strategy.
In bad strategy, all those things. Of course, on June 4th, if these numbers hold true, you will hear all of us speaking more about these nuances when we go along. But largely, as we zoom out of southern India, there was a lot of questions and the whole debate about the BJP being a North India party. Will the southern citadels be broken this time at least? Comprehensively, if these numbers hold, this will be the first time the Bharatiya Janata Party will be winning across all southern states, at least one seat across all southern states in any Lok Sabha elections. That is going to be a big shift as far as the politics is concerned. Uma and I am going to take a very quick break at this moment. Shikha Mukherjee has been waiting very patiently. We'll come back. We'll talk about West Bengal, important state. A lot of polls have been, showing a massive shift in West Bengal as well. We'll talk about all those numbers once we come back on the other side of this short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Interesting conversation here of how the Bharatiya Janata Party at this moment post the exit polls seem to be not only in the pole position but seem to be much sweeping the elections. And one state where India Alliance, both the BJP, everybody was talking about that, this could reverse the fortune, this could have a huge impact on what happens eventually on June 4th is West Bengal, isn't it?
West Bengal, very fascinating election, very fiercely fought as well. And you must remember all 7 phases in which the election happened. So it was a very staggered, long process that the election followed. Ankit, let's go ahead with the figures.
Yeah.
What the exit polls are telling us.
Big numbers. Exit poll of the polls, 42 Lok Sabha seats in West Bengal. The poll of the polls suggests 23 for the BJP, 18 for the TMC. So largely a reversal from what happened in 2019. That's the poll of the polls. But few suggest, and let me get in Shikha Mukherjee at this moment. Shikha Mukherjee, few polls suggest the BJP going as high as 31. I mean, this is going to be, and I've been overusing the word, tectonic shift once again in the politics of West Bengal. What has gone wrong if we believe these numbers coming true for the TMC as far as this election is concerned, ma'am?
Well, I think, we'll have to wait and see whether it's actually 31 or not. Because 31 is a shift which suggests two things straight away. One, that the TMC's vote share is going to drop significantly, and that the prospects of the left's revival, which the left firmly believes and everyone else in the state also firmly believes, that is not going to happen. In other words, there will be, what was the BJP's vote from 2014 to 2019? It zoomed. It zoomed why? It zoomed because the left's votes transferred themselves to the BJP. And this remained the pattern up to 2021 state assembly elections. At that point in time, the other noticeable factor was that as the BJP's votes zoomed, the Trinamool's vote did not decline. The BJP's increase in vote share was not at the cost of the Trinamool Congress. So if today we are looking at a major bump up in the BJP's numbers in terms of the number of seats that it's going to win vis-a-vis its performance in 2019, which was a staggering 18, you are looking at, in fact, an erosion of Trinamool Congress votes. And that is an issue on which there are certainly reasons why the Trinamool Congress would fear a shift in its votes, because there has been a lot of issues on which the Trinamool's image has been really smeared, as it were. The corruption scandals being one of them, and being the principal one.
Shikha, very fascinating what you're saying about the shift of the vote from the left to the BJP you're talking about, whether it's the Kerala or West Bengal, longest standing left bastions. So are we saying that it's now over for the left in West Bengal and
no, I'm
it's
not
going to be
saying that at
BJP
all.
very much the party of the future, or is it anti-incumbency?
Uma, I said exactly the opposite. I said that the left is like...
Okay, I have misheard you.
Everyone is of the view that the left is now in revival mode. It may not have revived itself as yet, but as your analyst in terms of Kerala was saying, the left is weak. It has lost vote share, but it doesn't mean that the left is a spent force in West Bengal.
Okay.
By no means at all.
Ma'am, may I very quickly ask you, in hindsight...
The left is still a force in... No, let me finish. Because this is... If Uma has misunderstood it, then I think your audience also needs to get a better understanding, better handle on it, which is that the left is not a spent force politically in West Bengal. It may not be winning elections, it may be down to 0 in the assembly, but it is not a spent force.
Okay. In hindsight, if these numbers hold, very quickly, ma'am, do you think that Congress and the TMC not coming together has been a mistake? I mean, there's some split as far as the minority vote is concerned. If they would have fought this election together, they possibly would have hoped for a better outcome.
See, it's something that is very interesting, because why did the Congress Trinamool alliance shape itself the way it did? There were 3 parties. The possibility of 3 parties coming together doesn't exist. So you had to have 2 alliances. It's either Congress Trinamool and the left. Now, I think the reason why the Congress Trinamool alliance did not work out is because the Trinamool did not want the Congress in its own space. That particular alliance has not worked very well in the past.
Okay.
There have been the personality fight between Ajit Chaudhary and Mamata Banerjee is explosive. They don't get along, and therefore, figuring it out is a little more difficult. The CPM and the Congress have been trying to patch it up and work together for some time. Now, that actually creates something very interesting in West Bengal. From West Bengal politics, which has largely been binary between either the Congress and the left, then later the left and the emerging Trinamool Congress, there has this time, it seems, is now a 3-cornered fight, where the Trinamool is fighting on its own, the Congress and the left are fighting on their own, and the BJP is fighting on its own. The difference is that for the left Congress and for the Trinamool, it is the BJP which is the target. They are very clear about who they are targeting.
Right. Okay. Unfortunately, we are completely out of time. It's been a fascinating discussion, state by state, that we have been going through with our experts. One state that we wanted to touch upon was Odisha. Fascinating poll of polls as far as Odisha is also concerned. Unfortunately, we are completely out of time, ladies and gentlemen. But Uma, whatever, if these numbers hold true, even if the numbers are close to the numbers that poll of polls are suggesting, it does mean not only a bigger term for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, 3rd term, but also means that BJP then will stand as a true pan-India party, with having a member of parliament representing the Bharatiya Janata Party from across the country. Every state and union territory will be represented by at least one member of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Yes, indeed. If we thought Hindutva were words that were not liked by the south of the country, this election seems to suggest otherwise and says, yes, those words are also something that we will speak about very much in currency here now.
Absolutely. All right. That's all the time that we have in this edition, Uma. Thank you. Thanks to all our guests for joining in, and thanks to our viewers for tuning in at this moment. Now over to June 4th. Exit polls are done. The real result on June 4th. Thank you so much for being with us.